We are in this subject. We are required to talk to the leadership teams and to understand how the impact of networking helped them in career to achieve to reach that position of leadership. So we want to hear some stories from you where how networking has evolved in your career and how it played a role to transition to you as a leader. So
Sure. But Shubhranshu,
yeah.
are you concentrating on any particular kind of networking or networking as such?
Networking as such as a whole, particularly related to professional career development in that sense.
Sure. So, uh, I'm not prepared for this meeting, so whatever I'll talk will be impromptu.
Yeah.
And it's because I wanted it to be much more interactive and really something which is real life. So good that you mentioned about how it has helped to reach where people reach, or especially at the leadership level. So, you know, the world has become there is a quite a level playing field that is available right now. There used to be a time when all the industries or all the companies were domain focused or were regional focused. So if something was famous in, say, France, the dominance was there from France. If something was much more famous in, say, India, it was more India centric. But the way world has become today, the world is a small place. Everything has become global, and there's a level playing field. So, how do you differentiate yourself? So, since you're talking with live examples, let me just stick to my industry, which is chemicals, and especially with, say, carbon black. What happens that certain things today are given as a guaranteed. So, one is, say, the quality. Quality is no longer a subjective thing, it is given, uh, it's taken for granted. It is something which we don't even talk about. Second is the service levels. Service levels is also something which is taken as a granted kind of a thing. You don't even talk about it. What do I mean by this? Uh, Again, I will go to some of the common things that you guys are habituated. I'm sure you guys, all of you present out here, are using Flipkart or Amazon. You are using Zomato or Swiggy. And why do you use that? And how do you decide whether you want to order something from Amazon or Flipkart? Is based on the kind of quality or kind of deals or kind of service that you are getting. So, say if Sneha wants something tomorrow, she would then go to Amazon and see the product is getting delivered tomorrow or not. But you don't talk about quality, because when you are searching for a product, any product on either Amazon or Flipkart, you are going for something which you know that the product quality will be good. So if you're buying something of Philips or something, you're not even discussing about the quality, because that you are taking for granted that the quality is going to be good. Service level, also you are considering that, yeah, I want it tomorrow, I want it COD, or I want a discount. So these things are all today taken for granted. So you talk about any company, they are all giving you these things. They're concentrating on quality, they're concentrating on the service level. Then what is the differentiator? The differentiator then becomes the connect. which we also professionally call networking. Whether you are in a B2B or in a B2C environment, and especially more so in B2B environment, the key differentiator I'm seeing is becoming networking. Now, when you talk about networking, it is a very small word, but it has got a very large connotation. Because if you have to make your business a success, whether uh, you are an entrepreneur or you're working for a company, whether you are working for uh, Tata's or Bajaj or anyone, your success will only depend upon how good is your networking and your connects. Let's assume all of you from here are going to graduate, and since all of you are engineers, and I'm seeing that most of you are from the core industry, so let's assume that you will go back to the core industry. So say if you go back to say a Reliance or Adani's or Ambani's or Bajaj or anywhere in the core industry, then people know about say a Tata or a Bajaj for their quality, about their service level. Then it would be a Shubhranshu or a Anurag or a Sriram or a Sneha who would matter. Because when you are dealing, they know that okay, Bajaj quality is good, Bajaj service level is good. Is Shubhranshu good in dealing with me? Is Anurag good in dealing with me? Is Sriram giving me that comfort level? Am I able to connect with Sneha or not? That becomes the key differentiator. And honestly, coming from where I am, and I'm competing today with the global companies. So, so I'm from a carbon black background. I'm from Philips Carbon Black. Now, my main competitors, one is based out of US and one is based out of Europe. I'm competing with them when I'm competing in international level. So my success depends upon, am I getting that recall? So the brand recall that you talk about when you're taking the say the marketing classes in your management, the brand recall is no longer about say a Pepsi or a Coke. Will now boil down to the person they are dealing with, because they know that Pepsi is good or it is not good. Then it all depends upon the connect, the networking. That important it is today. So uh, it has become increasingly important that you build all those connects, and not only at a regional level. So it is no longer now, say, Anurag Satpathy is from, I'm assuming you are from Orissa, right? From the surname.
Yes, sir.
So networking is no longer restricted to, okay, I can speak good Oriya, so I'll make good connect with people in Orissa or say in neighboring West Bengal. It has to be at a global level now. So more and more, you should ensure that your networking skills are enhanced. When I'm saying at global level, a lot of additional things come into play. You should have the sensitivity, the cultural sensitivity. So if you're talking to a German guy, you should know how Germans behave. So the cultural sensitivity. Then the regional or the region or the religion sensitivity. If you're talking to, say, a Muslim or to a Jew or to a Catholic, you should know that, okay, what are the sensitivities involved in that religion. So networking will not be successful if you are not having a global mindset, if you do not develop your soft skills. Leadership is all about soft skills. Why you're doing MBA? You're not going to get any strong domain knowledge because you, most of you are, all of you are in fact engineers. So you have that domain knowledge. If you have to reach to the leadership level, how good an engineer you are is not going to matter. How good are your soft skills? Are you able to maintain that temperament? Are you able to connect with people? Are you able to inspire the people? When you're working in a team, are you able to walk the talk? Are you able to inspire them? Are you able to ask them to go beyond, stretch themselves to reach beyond their capacity? That is when you will become a leader. It is all very, 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 very small subsets of networking. So you have to think that networking is a very general term, but it has got lot of things running in the underlayer of that word.
So there is one thing our professor was also discussing. Since you have come from L&T, then PCBL, and sometimes we forgot our past lesson. The we connection get loose after some period of long distance. So how do you manage that relationship? Past from L&T people, you must have some connections still now. So how do we manage that?
So Raju, very, very pertinent point you have raised, and I'll again give you all live examples.
Yeah,
Uh, I was just invited for the wedding of a CEO in L&T.
yeah,
It has already, so as I mentioned, I'm in PCBL for last 17 years. So
yeah,
I've left L&T around 17 and a half years back. But I was invited to the wedding of the son of a CEO, and I was one of the very selected people who was invited outside L&T for the wedding, and it was a destination wedding. So the connection is still there. And how do you maintain the connect? Again, very small things. It's not that I talk to him every now and then. It is just again, am I maintaining that respect levels or that connect with him? I still do one thing that I always wish him on his birthday. So it is just that possibly I talk to him only once in a year on his birthday. But that is what is networking. So networking is that it's not that when you leave your job or when you switch locations or you switch things, you switch off the relationships. So since you just mentioned about L&T, it came to my mind because it is just 2 or 3 months back that I was invited and I met the CMD of L&T also out there. So that's the power of networking. That is how you will grow. Now, and Subhrashu, I had mentioned to you about Himanshu Rai,
yes, yes.
your director, who is my school senior and whom I really idolize. So again, it's not that I talk to him every now and then, but still, every on his birthday, he will. I wish him. On my birthday, he wishes me. This is just one of the examples how we still stay connected, how still the networking is done. Some of the businesses that I have made successful, I have been kicked out of the meetings. I have been kicked out of their place that no, we do not want to entertain PCBL. But still, I have ensured that whenever possible, I just say hello to them. I don't discuss any business. But if I'm meeting them in any conference or anything, I'm passing by, I just say hello to them. So one thing is that You should remain humble. You should remain grounded. You should not talk about yourself. Leadership is always taking the blame on the failures, but giving the credit to others on the success. You just would have seen what Rahul Dravid was spoken about when we won the World Cup. That when we lost, he took the blame, but when we won, he gave all the credit to say Rohit and Kohli and everyone else. So that is all about leadership. That is all about uh, how you become successful as a leader. You will not become a leader till you have good networking capabilities. You cannot have a good networking capabilities if you are not global, if you do not have sensitivity, if you do not have the soft skills. If you if you're meeting someone to make uh, for networking and you only speak about yourself, if you just start praising about yourself and not listening to others, then you cannot do the networking. The networking is also about your ability to listen, ability to learn, ability to absorb. So these are a lot of things that goes into networking.
Yes.
Uh, so, if you don't mind, I had a question here. So, in your personal life, when did you networks, and was it a conscious decision? Like you said that like to become a leader, you need networks. So, did you start building your networks with this idea in mind, or was it like complementary things that helped each other?
So, Sriram, it's a valid point. People are not born leaders. I don't believe that people are born leaders. And I also do not believe that people have got skill sets from birth. Uh, my doing MBA was a conscious call that I took. I'm pretty much sure four of you also would have, you, all of you, when you told me about your background, you all have done wonderfully well in your academics. You have all graduated from good institutes. You all have been working in great companies, but you are still doing MBA. So it was a conscious call you took, right? It was something that you aimed that this is what I want to become, this is where I want to reach, and that is why you left your good salaries and good life, and now you're studying. And I'm sure with the work ex behind you, sometimes you must be feeling they are treating us like kids in the class, right? So it was a conscious decision you took. Similarly, when you want to become a leader, you need to decide few things, and you should consciously apply that. I am a very shy person. I was if I go to a conference or if I used to go to any party, I used to just stay uh, to to myself in one corner. But if you want to become a leader, if you want to have a networking, so I started consciously meeting people, talking to them, trying to understand. And when you're talking to people, you should also have a well-rounded knowledge about what's going around you, right? Otherwise, how do you strike a conversation with people?
Yes, true.
So I think it's a 15 minutes call, but
Uh,
I would love to talk so much about networking because there are so many things that goes behind networking. But to answer your question, Sriram, you need to decide that, yeah, consciously I will do these things to become a better leader, to do a better networking. And possibly you can have a buddy system, like you can tell Anurag, this is what I want to do. If you see that I'm failing in that, please correct me. Please remind me that this is what you're doing wrong. So correct it.
And I just had one more question if you have like some more a couple of minutes time. Uh, so what would be your key advice to us? Like, so we are just like starting to, I wouldn't say starting, but in our mid career, poker face kind. So what like in personal thing, like I'm an introvert actually. So what would be your advice about like building our networks and leveraging our networks, existing ones, and simultaneously building new networks? So how do we balance it, and how do we leverage our networks into our professional growth also?
So, as I mentioned to you, I was an introvert myself. I said shy, but yeah, that's what I meant, that I'm also an introvert person. So you can either decide to remain like that, or you can just decide that, okay, in my personal life, I'll still possibly remain introvert, which is fine. But when I come to my professional world, I would try to mix with people. I would just saying hello and hi. And as I've mentioned, Sriram, that it's not that I pick up the phone and talk to them on daily basis, but you can like make a calendar of people whom you admire, whom you idolize, whom you think you would like to remain in touch with. And at certain point in time, if you know their birthdays and all, you can just wish them on their birthdays. You can start with that, and just ensure that whenever you are in that city, so say you are making some connects in Indore, but when you leave Indore and you go and work somewhere, but you happen to come to Indore sometime, just make it a point to give them a call that I'm in the city, and if you are free, we can just meet over a cup of coffee or something like that, or follow them. If I give you example of again Himanshu Rai, he's very active on Facebook and on Insta and everything. So you can possibly, uh, check the work that he's doing and putting on Facebook, and just comment sometimes. Similarly, start following some groups or some companies that you admire, whether it is, again, say you admire Google or something. So start following that company. So that is how small steps. You really don't need to become an extrovert to make connections, but don't forget anyone. So even from you have left the company, and probably now after finishing MBA you will join some other company. But people who mattered to you in your previous organization, stay connected to them, even if it means when you go to that city, meeting them or saying hello to them, or occasional hi, hello, or whatever, so that they always remember that, yes, uh, though you have excelled in your life, you have now done MBA from a premier institute, and now you are doing extremely well, but you are still humble enough to remember them and stay in touch with them. You never know who's going to be useful to you in future.
Yes, sir. That's a quite a good discussion. We got a lot of insights and advice. And to summary, I will say we have to be sensible for the other people's situation, and we have to be humble whenever we meet someone. And obviously, never forget someone. Keep in touch to, I'll say, keep the network working. So that's how I summarize this discussion.
I will add just two,
Yeah,
three more things in that. One, have the listening ability.
yeah,
You should have the listening skills.
yeah.
Second, build on to your knowledge on what's happening around you. And instead of sensible, what you mentioned, what I was saying, that you should be sensitive.
Ah, yeah.
You should be sensitive to various cultures, various religions, various regions.
Mm,
Because if you're not sensitive enough, you will not be able to strike a conversation, or you'll not be able to build that bridge of relationship between two different people. Because as I mentioned to Anurag, that his aim is not to build relationship with people of Orissa, right? He has to build relationship with people across the globe. And a person from US is different from a person in Germany, is different from a person in in France. Like a French and a German, they don't see eye to eye to each other. They hate each other. So, but you have to build relationship with both French and German. So you should be able to have that connect. So sensitivity is what is very important.
So thank you, sir. That's all from our side.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, sir.
Most welcome. Feel free
And
to connect with me anytime
Yes, sir.
you wish. I'm always available, and I'm also just to mention that I'm also a certified coach. So I do CEO, CXO level coaching. So I'm also uh, a certified coach. So that that also gives me extra leverage of, I love talking to people like you and helping you. So you have my email ID. Whenever you think that you need any help or anything, just ping me. No issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All the best, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Excel in your life, both professionally and personally. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much, sir.
Thank you. And if you come to Indore, do let us know, sir. We'll meet you.
Would
Yeah.
love to meet
Sure,
you.
sure. My wife is actually has done her undergraduate and postgraduate from Indore.
Okay.
So SGSITS from there. So yes,
Okay.
I've heard a lot about the food. I don't know whether you are enjoying the food out there or not, but I've heard it's a food paradise. I'm sure Sneha is smiling, so she would have definitely enjoyed the food out there.
Not audible.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Done, right. चलो हो गया. अच्छा था ये सेशन, I guess.
Hey, stop the recording. Stop the recording, no?